Well, people, you know we're in what, day 6? I guess I lost count of the shutdown. How about the shutout, right? I've been scrolling this morning on a few social medias. I came across this one. Shout out to Anton Daniels. People, this lady has an opinion, like we all do, right, on certain subjects. She worked right across from a healthcare facility, governmental, where she says every day there was a long line, not just outside the hallway, but actually outside the building. And her comments are, look, illegals for a long time have been taking advantage of the system and getting free this and free that. Then she threw a curve. She said, you know what, this government shutdown, if we have to do it, then so be it. That way we take care of our problem. I want to play this. I want to know how you feel.
By males. It's one thing when you have a family that is a legal U.S. citizen, taxpayer, that needs help with food, housing, medical insurance. That is not an issue. That I'm 110% okay with that. Like, help people. But I have a huge problem with an able-bodied male from another country coming over here and basically just mooching off the system. Because that's what they're doing. They're not contributing to society. They're not doing anything. So that, it really is, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. And if people would really step back and look at this situation, you would understand that that's not sustainable. That's not something that we can keep doing. So if we have to go without a paycheck to fix this broken system, then so be it.
That's cold. I said that's cold. I don't think that's the way to do it. My comment was this. As much as I full well agree, illegals are taking advantage of the system, I cannot in all good conscience support the idea of hurting Americans. We're advanced enough in technology, computers to sift and sort through those who shouldn't be in the system. In addition, it sounds like a plan to collapse the system because everybody knows illegals are here. So why were the safeguards laxed? That's the question. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, I found this one response by a person. This lady responded, this one here. At the end of Biden's presidency, I was given custody of my granddaughter due to her parents' passing. I had to fill out paperwork from that facility. I had to fill out paperwork from that facility. It was so overwhelming, overloaded with Mexican men and women who couldn't speak English. I had to go back to that facility to finalize the paperwork, and Trump came back into office. That office was a ghost town. People, if you vote Democrat, there will be more Americans. Man, that's self-explanatory, huh? So when Biden was in office and she went to fill out paperwork for custody, it was full of Mexicans, Mexican men. But once Trump got in office, the place was a ghost town. I think that's self-explanatory. What do you stand on this thing? People, I understand what they went through overseas. Biden made this problem, but at some point, we got to get real. If you think you're going to go to another foreign country and you're going to get a handout, it's not going to happen. You got to go to work. You can't come in and mooch off a system you haven't paid any income tax into. I believe that's fair, and shame on them to do it. You want to come over here illegal and sneak? Okay, fine. That's what you got away with that. But that's as far as it goes with me. I don't believe I should be paying money to you, because especially if you're retired, they just make they raise the retirement age, what, already in America and even in other countries, and it's in part because things are bad economically. So yeah, that's just one of several reasons. No free lunch. Now here's Hakeem Jeffries, the man of the hour. He was on Face the Nation yesterday. I want you to hear his response in relation to this shutdown, okay? Or should I say to shut up?
Also demanding an extension of Obamacare tax credits, which expire at the end of the year, as well as other health care benefits for the funding bill. Here is what the vice president said about that this week. Take a look.
It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us.
He says that Democrats are lying. What is your response to that?
Well, unfortunately, Republicans are lying because they're losing in the court of public opinion as it relates to what's going on right now. We are standing up for the health care of hardworking American taxpayers, of working class Americans, of middle class Americans, and everyday Americans who have seen over the last several months Republicans pass their one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics are closing all throughout the country, including in rural America. If Republicans continue to refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of American taxpayers are going to experience dramatically increased premiums, co-pays, and deductibles. And that information from their insurance companies is going out right now. Now, federal law clearly prohibits the expenditure of taxpayer dollars to provide health care to undocumented immigrants, period, full stop. And no Democrat on Capitol Hill is trying to change that law.
Leader Jeffries, let me...
Tell me if I'm hearing this right. Because it's written in the bill that undocumented can receive these benefits, you're not going to go against it. But you're framing your argument in relation to Americans too, and what we're going through, that if you craft this bill another way, then Americans' deductibles and premium and everything else are going to go up. Well, again, don't we know how to add, subtract, multiply, and sort out? Why are the Democrats for the illegal so much? And they want to put it in the same light with Americans. I don't think that's fair. I think they should separate it. And we've gotten too liberal. And in times like these, we're doing a shutdown, and this is in part because of illegals. Tell me in the comment section, is that what he's trying to tell us? Now, here's the reality. Private payrolls declined in September by 32,000 in key ADP report coming amid shutdown data blackout. Now, what happened is that generally we would have gotten data on the jobs report, but because of the lockdown or the shutdown or lockout, whatever you want to call it, the information didn't come out a few days ago. So now it's here through another source. And I have been preparing you guys for months. I've been telling you that the economy was in trouble, that it's been in trouble. I'm gonna say it again, that it's been in trouble, and that we have been in a recession in parts of America when Biden was in office. And now that Trump is here, he's doing another slice. And I did a few economic research articles. I checked them out late last night. And what I found out was that not only is it AI, it's also the economy's bad, and they're trying to offset it with the Federal Reserve lowering rates. And also the tariffs. Three blind mice. That's what's happening. So let me let you listen to this here. Check it out.
And for the month of September, the ADP report shows that the private sector lost 32,000 jobs. This was the biggest decline in 2.5 years. Another report that we like to look at, regardless of whether the BLS jobs report is released or not, is the Challenger report. This is on page 1 of the report, and in the chart, I've highlighted the months of 2025. It says, so far this year, companies have announced 946,426 job cuts, the highest year to date since 2020. That is 55% higher compared to the same time period in 2024. And on page 2 of the report, it says, it's very likely job cut plans are going to surpass 1 million for the first time since 2020. Again, we're currently at 946,000, so I would say that surpassing that amount is very likely. And it says that previous periods with this many job cuts occurred either during recessions or during periods of transformative technology. So for here, I mean, of course they're referring to AI, but I'm going to show you that AI is not responsible for this weakening labor market. And then it proceeds to say that we're dealing with a stagnating labor market.
Now, even though he does say this, he does go on to show how AI is affecting it. And he mentions tariffs and a weak economy overall. And again, how the Fed chairman is cutting rates. But people, these numbers are real. These numbers are real. Biggest job loss since 2020. And at this rate, it's going to keep going on. Trump has put us in a pickle. He's put us in a pickle, people.
And I thought what was interesting is that where the sectors that lost the most jobs from in September was really those industries that are driven by consumer demand. So think about travel and leisure, hospitality, restaurants. You're not going to go out and hire en masse if you don't have folks coming in. And of course, we have talked about this. We have seen especially low-income folks pull back a little bit on their spending because they are concerned with this uncertainty. The other data point that I want to bring in, Major, was another labor report that we got, the Challenger report. And it said that year to date, come September, we saw the lowest hiring numbers for the year since 2009. So what does that tell you? We have hired at the slowest rate since we were recovering from the Great Recession. Now, it doesn't mean that we're seeing mass firings, but it really speaks to those companies that have just pressed pause because of the uncertainty and said, I just don't see the reason to hire a bunch of people right now.
And Kelly, it sounds like we need some
We got a problem, people. We got a problem. And all we're getting is this. He cut a jig. He dances all the time. Once he does that crank, once he gets that hand going, there you go, there you go. Once he gets that, the crowd. The sailors behind him are not getting a check. And hundreds of thousands of people are not getting a check while they wrangle over everything else that's in front of us. Were you aware that we lost 32,000? Were you aware that it's the fastest job decline since the Great Recession? Again, that's why I told you guys to tighten your belt. Don't go out here just spending extra money thinking this economy is great. They're lying to you. Trump loves to brag every time the stock market goes up. And people think that that economy is connected to ours. No. Just because it's doing good, it doesn't mean the overall economy is doing well. Okay? They can speak and do this, that, and the third, and the stock market goes up. The investment is in technology. It's in technology. And if I'm not mistaken, the gentleman here in Clearview Tax, he talks about how he has a business here, I believe here in Chicago, where he's speaking about he helps firms hire and stuff like that. And he says what he found out. In fact, I will leave this particular video in the description. It's horrifying the way he explains it. He says it's just unbelievable the effect of what AI is doing, and that is literally taking people's jobs, not figuratively, people, literally. He explains this thing, and it will make you cry. This guy has a business as well as he does very well on YouTube, and he says he's trying to get people jobs and try to help companies and stuff. He says as he's looking at the data, in comparison to how it used to be, people, AI is making a move, and it's affecting the labor market. My name is Franchise Pearson. You know, a few times during the month, I do an economic report. Oops, there it is. God bless.